Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
What's been going on? I'm
This
Skyler.
week in the news, WWE is hosting a questionable show. James Bond is moving forward at Amazon. The Street Fighter movie casting is heating up. The Batman 2 has a script. The next Spider-Man movie has casting news. And the final Fantastic Four trailer has dropped. But before we get into all that, Skyler, what's been going on with you this week?
Appropriate that most of our news this week is about movies because this week I saw some movies.
Boo.
So I saw 28 Years Later.
I hear there's a penis in it.
Oh boy, is there.
28 inches later, baby.
Yes, sir. Big angry man.
Oh, is it the, alpha? I've heard tale of an
Yeah.
alpha chase.
It's the alpha, and boy is he alpha, let me tell you.
Who plays the alpha? Is it like a Skarsgård or something?
No, I don't. Presumably an English actor, but he just runs and screams and swings his dingle around.
Is he a
So
zombo?
it didn't. He is a rage virus man. Yeah, he's a zombie.
Okay.
They did confirm. I think it's funny that it had to be confirmed. Someone just came out and was like, "Hey, just so you know, that wasn't a real penis. It was a prosthetic. We don't have big swinging penises around on set because that'd be not a good work environment."
Well, way to ruin the Hollywood magic, whoever said that.
It's okay. They just took all the inches that they digitally removed from Namor and they gave
Right.
it to this guy.
That makes sense. That makes sense, and I respect it, but I don't because I hate it. What? What'd you think of it? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's really good. There were aspects of it, without getting into spoilers, around the end that I think dropped it off a little bit for me. I mean, I still really good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I think it was almost a 4.5, but it kind of leaned into this is not, and to be fair, we kind of knew this going in. This is not a closure to like the 28 Zombies trilogy, right?
Sure.
It is the start of a new trilogy. So earlier in the
Right.
year we talked about what was it? The Bone Temple, the next one. There's one coming out next year. There's the Bone something. We had
I
a
think
joke
it is
about
the
it.
Bone Temple. I remember that
Yeah.
being a thing that you said.
Yeah. But then there's going to be a third one as well. So this is like
The Bone Zone.
the start of the Bone Zone, and the fact that it kind of did that. There's a little bit of sequel tease at the end. I kind of just like, I feel like it just barely took the wind out of the sails as far as this being a complete story in its own. But I still liked it. I will definitely see the next one. And then I also saw the John Wick spinoff, Ballerina.
Ooh.
And you know what's very surprising? I gave that the same score. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I did not expect to do that.
Oh, that's weird. The general public reaction that I've been hearing has been a lot higher for 28 years than it has been for Ballerina.
Yeah, I think that, and that's fair. I do think, in my own little scoring way, it really is more of a 3.5 out of 5 movie. But there's an entire action sequence during the end, the finale, that I thought was so cool. It just bumped it up.
I guess that's fair. I mean, it's your own personal rating. Like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? So,
And it's definitive, and everyone else has to have the same opinion.
right. Yeah, you are the Siskel of Letterbox.
Yes, dead.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, those are two pretty big movies.
Two fun, good movies.
I never really got into either of those series. Like, I enjoy the John Wick movies well enough, but I wouldn't say I'm like a fan of it. And then like the 28 whatever's later zombie movies, they always felt like too much to me. You know what I mean? Like they kind
They're
of
pretty heavy.
missed the fun of it.
Yeah.
The guys are screaming and running, and the virus seems so much harder to avoid in that universe because there's one bit where like a guy gets infected from a drop of blood, like a single drop of blood that lands on his eye or something.
Yeah.
And then I think it can get
one.
transmitted by like birds, and it's like at that point just shoot me.
I don't think the birds have ever been a problem. I will say in the second one, which people don't like, I think it's fine. I know it's not as good, but I think it's okay. In the second one, there's a woman who is a carrier, but she's not crazy. But then her husband kisses her, and then he gets it.
Mm.
So yeah, it's hard to avoid. But yeah, there's also scenes in each one that are like horrific. Like there's people just getting torn apart, terrifying screams happen. It's heavy. It's a heavy series, and this one has bits that continue that, especially like right at the beginning.
Fair
But
enough.
you know, watch it anyways.
Well, this week I actually also watched a movie,
Oh
which is
no,
why I booed you because it's going to be such a movie heavy week for us.
it's a movie week.
It's a
Yeah.
movie week. In preparation for Superman soon, I
Mm.
watched the Superman the movie, the first Superman movie.
Yay.
I've seen it before, obviously,
Yeah.
but I quite like it. I think it's very
Mhm.
good. But rewatching it again, I am solidified in my apparently hot take that I think, as we stand right now, I do think the Superman Returns is still the best live action Superman movie.
You know, it's that is a take that's gonna get some reactions.
Good.
Not from me because I enjoy Superman Returns.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna let you slide on that one. But
I genuinely don't know what the argument against that would even be. Like, is it because it's not Man of Steel clearly?
no,
The only one that I can even think would like maybe rival it is the first Superman movie.
probably the first one. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
like
think.
it's good. I really like the one true Richard Donner Superman movie.
Yeah,
But it's definitely got some issues. Like it makes him extremely overpowered. He flies backwards to turn back time. That's really stupid. Like,
mhm.
but then it's also the thing of like the pacing is terrible. Like it is 2.5 hours long, and you feel every second of those 2.5 hours. You spend the first like 15 minutes just flying through space watching the credits. Like it is a slow movie. It is glacial. And then of course you get to the remainder of that, the three remaining movies in that series, and they just get progressively worse.
And I think
I still
Superman
like
Returns
two.
is also very slow in the same
It
way.
it is, but it's shorter and there's more that happens in between. Like there's still not a ton. Like he's not flying around shooting lasers and punching bad guys all the time. But like at least early on you've got like the airplane rescue is just the helicopter
Oh,
rescue
yeah,
but better.
yeah. That is the scene of the movie for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only complaint that I've ever heard about it really is it's stupid that Lex Luthor is trying to do a land thing, but that's what he's
Well,
doing in the
that's
first one
what
too.
he did the whole series. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his whole that's his whole thing in the first movie as well. Is he wants to
Yeah.
like drop California into the ocean so that he can own beachfront property or something stupid. Uh
Classic movie.
the airplane scene, you're right, I think is for most people the scene of the movie. I prefer the bit where he goes to the hospital and they can't let Martha in because like she can't let people know that she's Superman's
Oh,
mom. I think that's a really
yeah.
like underrated scene. And then as soon
Mhm.
as he gets out of the hospital, he goes straight back. Like it feels so Superman of just like
Mhm.
the second like he's not any more capable of dealing with whatever's over there than he was before, but he just goes immediately back before he's even like fully healed. I think that is such a Superman bit. It's very good. I like it a lot. But Skylar, let's talk about the news. So let's start with WWE Clash of Champions, which will be happening, I think, at the same time that this episode goes up, because this is supposed to
Yeah.
go up at some point.
Within
A
12
couple.
hours or so of our recording.
Yeah. The reason that this show is controversial is because it seems like most people feel that it should have probably been just canceled or moved.
The Saudi Arabia shows have always been controversial to a degree,
True.
but this one in particular, well, it's history repeats itself because a couple years ago when they first started doing Saudi Arabia shows, there was that whole deal about the journalist that was killed over there,
Right.
like in an embassy, and then a bunch of governments were like, WWE, you should not go there because they're doing
It's
things.
probably a bad idea.
And WWE, in true WWE fashion, did not listen and went there anyways. And then a subsequent time, they went over there, and then for one reason or another, we won't really dive into that much, a whole bunch of talent and like crew got stuck over there, like they weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah.
All the while, owner of the company, Vince McMahon, hopped on his private jet and just left
Just
them all
abandon them
there
there.
because he's a great guy.
Yeah. Fortunately, no longer with the company, although they don't seem to be making many better decisions.
Mm-hmm. And then now, once again, world events, missiles started flying. Granted, I believe there's a ceasefire right now, but
Right.
again, world governments were like, "Hey, don't go there."
And
They
they
did.
they sure are. So yeah, so if you didn't know, because I imagine most people listening to this don't actually like watch WWE. Clash of Champions is a like mid tier, maybe even lower, like pay per view that really no one historically has cared much about. It's one of those like backlash ish ones where it's like
Yeah.
it's not a big one that people look forward to.
No.
And this year it has been moved to Saudi Arabia to fulfill some contractual agreement they have with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to have a certain
Yep.
number of pay-per-views over there. And of course, in current events, our very stupid president has bombed Iran like a week ago, not even a couple days ago. And in retaliation, Iran shot missiles at local U.S. bases. Now, this is in Saudi Arabia, which is not Iran. It's it's over in Qatar. But the entire airspace had been shut down until this ceasefire went into effect. This ceasefire seemingly is not really being respected much. Like, there have definitely been missile strikes post the ceasefire starting. So it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a real thing. But apparently they were able to land, and now they're there. I don't know. It feels like such a bad idea to be there. Especially when one of your headliners is John Cena, who famously was one of the people who announced to the WWE universe the killing of Osama bin Laden
Caught and compromised
to a
to a
permanent end.
permanent end.
I'll tell you, the thing that I'm most shocked about is how unchanged the card is. I would have guaranteed, I would have been like, oh yeah, multiple stars will not be wanting to go there. And it seems like the only one who's not there is Dominic Mysterio, who has an injury that some people are saying might not exist. And they're just saying it's an injury so that he doesn't have to go.
When that was first announced, it seemed like a kind of very convenient timing injury. But apparently it's a real shoot injury, according to a recent report. I don't know.
Shoot meaning real, not shoot as in he was shot, for the people listening.
No, that's a different wrestling promotion. We don't do that here.
In wrestling, if something is fake, it's called a work, and if it's real, it's called shoot. That's just wrestling terminology.
And if you're listening to this podcast, we will force you to know these things. We're not going to stop talking about wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's part of the brain rot.
So the stars the superstars, the wrestlers, they landed yesterday or something, and immediately a video surfaced of CM Punk like pushing a kid who was like running up to try and give him a hug, and he like pushed him out of the way because he famously hates children, and more specifically, famously hates Saudi Arabia.
We're in the CM Punk hatred part of the show, so let's get into this really quick. Yeah, I watched that video, and
he didn't really do anything. He just didn't want to go with the kid.
It's one of those things where the kid ran up probably to where he wasn't supposed to be because there were multiple people walking by, security guards and wrestlers. He ran up to like get a selfie with CM Punk by himself, like a small child, and CM Punk gently, he didn't shove this kid.
No,
he gently like moved him out of the way and kept going.
He's like, no, sorry, goodbye.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where to be in CM Punk's corner for a second, which we don't like to do.
I don't like to do. You're fine.
If he gets a photo with this kid, well, then other people are gonna come up and ask for a photo, and like he has to. They're at some sort of fan event, so it's like come meet him at his table type deal.
Well, so that is the thing that makes it weird to me, though, is because it is at a fan event. Like, it's at a meet and greet. Like, you're there to meet and greet, and this kid came up to meet and or greet you, and you're like, nah.
But also think about like if we were at a convention and we saw who's a good example here. I'm going to say the worst example I possibly can.
Okay.
Rob Schneider.
How dare
Let's
you?
say Rob Schneider was walking to his table, and then and you know what? I'm going to even remove us from the equation. Our friend Abrar. Let's say he goes up to Rob Schneider, who's on his way to his table to meet what we'll call fans. I hate that I chose Rob Schneider for this.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that to yourself.
He's the first one I could think of that was actually at the convention that we went to, and
There were so
nobody
many.
wanted to see him. But like, yeah, so you go up to him and you're like, or Brar does, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" It's like, "Well, no, come meet me at my table." It's like I'm on my way to my table to meet other people who have been waiting.
Right. The major difference there would be that Abrar is a 30-year-old man and this was like a 6-year-old child. But yes.
Yes, that's true. That is true. The thing about this
Yeah.
story specifically,
The
is
CM Punk one or the it not being
the
canceled?
no the CM Punk part.
Mm,
If you like CM Punk, you won't think he did anything wrong here.
right.
If you hate CM Punk, then he's an asshole. Like it's both
Yeah.
sides of the fence. I don't know. There's no.
I'm in both on this one. I don't think he did anything wrong, but I do still think he's an asshole.
Yeah, well, he is.
So,
I think
oh my
even people
god.
who are fans of Punk can admit he's an asshole.
Did you see his absolute cringe ass Thugonomics promo that he cut on John Cena?
Yeah,
Made me
so
want to die.
they did SmackDown from Saudi Arabia, the same day
From
we're recording this,
Riyadh.
which would have been sometime in the afternoon because of time differences.
Right.
So yeah, I did see a clip of that on the old internet and didn't like it.
No.
I think
No.
it felt really out of character. Where when Cena, because obviously it was a retaliation for Cena doing a version of the pipe bomb. I don't know. It's just classic WWE cringe. Didn't work for me,
Yeah.
but people loved it because of course they
Cena
would.
Cena cooked Punk by remaking basically his most famous promo, and I guess Punk was trying to do the same thing to John. I don't know which specific promo it would have been, but it was one backwards chair away from like, hello fellow kids. Like it felt very youth pastor. He put up the Thugonomics brass knuckles and he did like the put them together so you could read them together. It said drug free.
Well,
Brother, get on out of here.
that's those are his actual like knuckle tattoos. That's what his
It's
knuckles say.
embarrassing.
He's embarrassing. Did you also see his apology to the nation of Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. So for people who don't know, which is everyone listening, he put out when he was not working with WWE and was very anti WWE. Back before they were the only promotion that might still give him money, he put out a nasty tweet to somebody who was working there around the time that they started doing the Saudi Arabia shows that said basically something to the effect of "Go suck a blood money covered penis in Saudi Arabia" or something. And
You censored the penis word.
and so he said dick. I don't think that's a thing that has to be censored. But he obviously the people of Saudi Arabia don't love that because they don't love their money being called blood money, I'm sure.
They were booing him, and then he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it," and then they cheered him. So
They sort of cheered him. They're still gonna boo him over Cena for sure.
oh well, yeah, because that's John Cena.
Yeah, like he's supposed to go into that as the face, and it's not gonna work out.
Man, okay, I like them running back Cena and Punk one last time in Cena's like farewell tour. I'm not happy that it's on a show that I'm certainly not going to watch.
It's weird that it
Um,
wasn't Money in the Bank.
It should have been. Instead, we're not going to get too much wrestling. We're not going to get into it.
Fair. Let's talk about James Bond. You have this James Bond news because I was reading it and didn't understand it. So what's happening with Amazon's James Bond?
Right. So obviously, the biggest news here, because we knew that more James Bond was coming. We knew it's at Amazon now. But the biggest news is they announced the director for the next film, which is Denis Villeneuve, who is famous
for people who don't know. I obviously know. I'm super smart about directors. But just in case like anybody in the audience doesn't know, like who would fuck is that?
He directed Dune and Dune Part 2.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
And no, he's directed a lot. He directed the movie Arrival. He directed
Oh, I didn't like Arrival.
the
Wait,
the
no, I'm thinking of the
movie-
other one. What was the one where they were in a
You-
bubble and like evolution was happening bad?
You didn't like Annihilation.
Right, Annihilation was bad. Arrival was fine.
Arrival is the one where Amy Adams looks at a big ship with worms in it.
Right,
No,
right.
squids. Sorry, they weren't worms. That was racist. I apologize. He also directed Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, the movie Prisoners
Sure.
from 2013, which is very good. He's a very good director.
Yeah. Well,
and
from the movies that you've listed, what I'm getting is he's it's going to be a really pretty movie, and the story might make no sense at all.
Yeah, that's fine for James Bond.
I guess. Yeah.
My theory for this, because there's been some reported alleged bullet point details on his upcoming movie.
Right.
So it says that he's signed on for one movie, which that's not crazy
Yeah.
for this.
I wouldn't assume that he seems like a pretty big name guy, especially right now with Dune. I don't know that you would like sign him to a multi-year contract or whatever.
I mean, even for this series, like repeat directors, I think it hasn't happened for a while. Like, what was it? Sam Mendes? Is that his name?
You know that I don't have that information for you.
Hang on, I should have had it more prepared. Yeah, Sam Mendes, who directed Skyfall, and then he directed Spectre right afterwards. But that's like, as far as the Daniel Craig ones, I think that's the only repeat director. But yeah, so if he comes in for one movie, that's fine, understandable. The studio is still searching for a writer. They haven't nailed that down yet. Seems just like, yeah, makes sense. It says James Bond will be cast after the script is finished. That's par for the course these days. The biggest bullet point for me here, which again is alleged, it says that Denis Villeneuve won't have final cut of the film, which that seems like such a studio thing. I don't know why someone would come out and say that.
Yeah. I feel like that's true most of the time, though, isn't it? Where the
Yeah,
studio
well,
edits it the way they want.
Big studio things, of course, they want their grubby little mitts on it. But it just seems so weird for anybody on any level to just say that.
Yeah, it's not an
but
advertising point for sure.
also, the fact that has been said, like, that is the first sign to me of like, okay, so he might not end up directing this movie then. He's directed a lot of great spectacle movies, and he's got another chance to do that here. But like, when you think of studios meddling to the point of a director leaving, it happens all the time now. And it just seems like this could very easily become one of those stories. Like, oh, remember when Denis Villeneuve was supposed to direct James Bond? Just like, oh, remember when Edgar Wright was supposed to direct Ant-Man? Like, yeah, well, that didn't work. Of course, that's all just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like it's like this might happen, but it probably won't, and it might not. And even if it does, he won't have final say in what the movie looks like anyway.
That's a weird thing to say, is all I'm saying. But yeah, if this all pans out, I think he's a great director. I think he's a good choice. That's cool. That's awesome.
But in other movie news, which is basically the rest of the show, that casting for the Street Fighter movie. So we got some weird ones in here. So okay,
yes,
I'll just run through it. There's a guy called Andrew Koji who's playing Ryu. I think he is really only known for being one of the ninjas from the G.I. Joe movie. I forget which one. I think Storm Shadow.
He was Storm Shadow in Snake Eyes, which is not a good movie.
No, and I also don't remember if he even really spoke in that movie, which is going to be
important. He's important in that one.
Yeah. Then you've got Noah Centineo Neo as Ken, who is, I guess, probably best known as Atom Smasher from the bad Black Adam movie.
That's what I would say he's known for.
Unless you're a fan of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which is also a fun show. I enjoy it. There's Kalina Leong playing Chun-Li. I have no idea who that is. Jason Momoa.
She's not in a lot. She's not in a lot. She was in like 2 movies. She's in a show called Tell Me Everything. I don't know anything about that.
Jason Momoa is playing Blanca, which is a weird choice. Yeah. Blanca is a big green Brazilian baby man who has lightning powers. So sure, they literally probably only picked him because of they both have long hair, and they were just like, well, who's a buff guy who can paint green?
Yeah, I will say that a lot of these things, I don't know how confirmed all of these are. Some of them still feel like alleged or quote in talks.
Yeah,
but I mean,
if this movie doesn't come out, I would be unbothered. 50 Cent is apparently set to play Balrog, who's like a boxer guy.
I sent that.
He's gonna get blood on the sand.
A mutual friend of ours. You could probably guess which one. Christian.
Yeah.
The first thing he sent back was Lamau.
Yeah.
And then after a pause, he went, "Wait, that's perfect, actually." So
I don't know if I agree with the second part, but that's fine. Balrog's not like an important character typically, anyway, so it doesn't matter. Joe Anoa'i, or Roman Reigns, is gonna play Akuma.
It all comes back to wrestling. You thought we were done?
We weren't done.
You thought we were done? That's the tribal chief.
Yeah. Orville Peck is playing Vega, which honestly, they're both like he's known for wearing a mask, and so is Vega. And I think literally they just were like, "Who's the guy? Who's a guy who could do that?"
He's the country music guy, right?
He's a musician. He's acted in things
Right.
before, but like mostly he's a musician.
Right.
And then Andrew Scholes, who I'm also not familiar, is playing a character called Dan, who's like very unimportant in Street Fighter lore. So
I don't even see that on this list here. Did you say Alan Richardson already?
no, I didn't get him. Who's that?
Our boy, Alan Richardson, Smallville Aquaman.
Oh, right, he's Guile.
He's Guile.
Yeah, that wasn't on the
Allegedly.
list that I pulled up. For some reason, he wasn't on the IMDb when I looked at it, apparently, because that's where I pulled all these names from.
Jack Reacher.
Yeah,
You always have to pause because there's a Jack Reacher and there's a Jack Ryan, and
yeah,
you're like, which one's Jim from The Office and which one's Alan Richardson? He's
yeah.
Jack Reacher.
Which one's Jack Reacher and which one's Jack Ass?
Jack Reacher is the one that can beat everybody's dad
Yes.
in a fight.
So yeah, I don't know anything about this movie in terms of like what it's going to be. Most of these
No.
people are not actors, and the ones who are not good actors. So
Come on,
I'm hoping
Roman Reigns was in the Hobbs and Shaw. He screamed.
he
He
sure
went, "Ooh-ah."
did.
got it.
Honestly, it when you're looking at a cast for a movie like this, and the best actor is Alan Richardson,
Yeah.
that's not a great sign. I don't think he's a bad actor, but it's like he's also playing Guile. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
that's not a main
Sure.
character.
Well, if you are already not feeling that hot about this, then you might not like to know that the director, I believe, is one of the guys behind the Twisted Metal TV show.
Shut it down. This
Oh,
show should just not exist. This movie should just not exist.
Yeah.
It might have good action. It seems like most of these people are people who are known as stunt people or fighters or wrestlers or whatever. So like the action might be good. That director's not gonna make it look good, but you know it might be good to watch if you were there on set maybe. So that's something. I don't know. It's like we're making a Street Fighter movie and we're gonna stunt cast almost every role and hopefully give them like no lines because none of them can act. I don't know what the plan here is. I really don't.
The plan is to make a movie, and then you have to see it legally.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh hell no.
yeah, you do. I enjoyed the recent Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm looking forward to the new one. Everyone's main complaint for that movie. Well, I won't say main complaint. A big complaint a lot of people had was there is no tournament in that film.
Sure.
If they put a tournament in this film, then I guess they win, right? That's all it takes.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I suspect this one will be worse than that. That one had like actors in it. Not great actors.
This one has Alan Richardson and Roman Reigns. What do you want? Come on.
Maybe just like someone who's been in like a movie.
Roman Reigns was in Hobbs and Shaw. We've already discussed this.
He had exactly one line and it was not words.
And
Okay. You've been in more movies than him. And spoken more.
that might be true. That might be true.
On a more important note, though, the Batman 2 script is finally done. This is a weird one, a little bit, because for some reason people have been just like up everyone's ass. Every interview that James Gunn has done for Superman, people are like, "Where's the Batman 2 script?" And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, oh my god. And he would always just be like, "Oh well, you know, Matt Reeves is working on it. And he's taking his time. He wants to make sure it's really good." And everyone took that as like him taking digs at Matt Reeves for not getting it done in time. And he's just literally was like, "No, like we got other stuff to work on. If it's not ready, it's not ready. Like it's fine. We want the script done before we do anything else."
And I believe Matt Reeves had like something happen in his personal life. Something I don't remember the detail, so I don't want to just
Yeah,
say conjecture. But something happened that like he took time off for. People were like, leave him alone for a minute.
right.
Um,
It wasn't
and I
anything super
agree.
serious. It wasn't like it wasn't a Zack Snyder situation. It was something else.
Yeah, I don't think it was like that.
But yeah, so it's finally done, the script. They posted a picture of him and I guess his writing partner, who I don't know the name of, with the script very blurry on the like table in front of them. All we know about it as of right now is that at some point it was supposed to be a Clayface movie. I think that was like heavily rumored, but no, not I don't think ever officially confirmed. and that it is called The Batman Part 2, which
Mhm.
they've changed a lot of titles for the DC movies lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a proper subtitle by the time it comes out. Um,
Mhm.
but who knows? I think The Batman is one of, if not my favorite live action Batman movie, so I'm very
Yeah,
excited for
definitely.
this. I don't think I need it to be a Clayface one now that we're getting a standalone Clayface movie. I think it would be kind of weird if we got two Clayface movies back to back.
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of hope that that is not true. Who would you
Well,
want it to be if not Clayface?
there was the original rumors because whatever Clayface thing we're getting now is his own movie that he's going to be the big goopy monster.
Right.
There were rumors of like an incarnation of Clayface in this, where he's just like the killer that wears the mask, right?
Yeah.
So like they could put that in not as a main thing, wouldn't think, but they could still use that if they needed or wanted to. Who do I want to be the main villain? Well, obviously Professor Pig.
Okay. Yeah, that's lame, but go on. Go off,
No,
King.
no, that's
Honestly, Professor, like, he could probably make Professor Pig cool.
we're just gonna leave that. We're gonna
I,
let that hang in the universe.
Professor Pig is not like the most terrible villain in the world.
No, I'm not knocking him. I said it for shock value, but
You tried to shock the wrong man.
shock the monkey,
I don't understand that
Peter
reference.
Peter Gabriel. All right, who do I want? I think people originally, right off the bat, wanted Mr. Freeze. How do you feel about that?
I'd be okay with that. I think. Yeah, it wouldn't be my like first choice. I feel like that's not something that like makes a ton of sense in the very like grounded world that this is, because at some point he's gonna have to free somebody solid, and I don't
Yeah.
know how like that's gonna work out here. But counterpoint, the entire city is like partially flooded or something right now, so I don't know. There's
Um,
extra water around. That would be good for freezing.
One thing I keep coming back to is obviously the first movie is all about like the criminal underworld and people, shadowy figures controlling government officials and whatnot.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people have followed those threads to say they could be an introduction for the Court of Owls. How do you feel about that?
Uh, I do want to see the Court of Owls in a movie at some point. Again, I don't think this is where I would want it. The Court of Owls
Okay.
are a very like fantastical thing. They've got basically zombies with them,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
would want that to be properly represented. I'm sort of maybe not like stringent or whatever or strict in how I like. I'm okay with interpretations of characters, but if
Yeah,
it's something major like that, like Court of Owls, I would want to have like a proper real version of them in live action before we get
sure.
the spin-off. You know what I
I
mean?
know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, I got
Like I
that.
want to get the, because otherwise most people didn't read that comic. I don't want that to be like the first version people see. Even though it'd probably be
Yeah,
good if he did it.
yeah, yeah.
Um
But then there's also that, movie effect where a version happens in a live action film, people see that, and then suddenly that is the version, and then comic books start to copy that. We see that happen all the time.
right. And I also would
Uh,
not want that.
yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
Granted, the Court of Owls doesn't come up a ton in the comics from what I understand. Like they had their run in the New 52, and then I don't think they've really come up a much since then.
Yeah,
Um so I don't know. For me, my answer is obvious, and it's because it's been set up so
Professor
well.
Pig,
Is Professor Pig is
the Riddler again.
we're in sort of a no man's land situation, and we know from the Penguin that he's now running sort of a criminal empire in
Yeah,
whatever, I forget the name of the section he's in.
yeah.
Um, but who is another big name guy who's just a grounded normal ass villain with a gimmick in
Lord, here we go.
is it's obviously Black Mask.
Here
Like
we go.
like that's Black Mask is unironically like probably the best choice for Matt Reeves, because anyone else he does, it's going to be like, oh, it's Mr. Freeze. We have to compare this to the 500 different versions of Mr. Freeze. Or like he's not going to do the Joker. He's not going to do. He's probably not going to do Two Face. Like I don't see him doing any of the big name guys. And so then you run down the list, and it's like Clayface is there, but we're already doing something with them.
Yeah.
We've set up No Man's Land, and like who is the biggest guy in No Man's Land who isn't the Joker or the Penguin who's already here? And it is Black Mask. Like we've set this up, and I do think that he would do a really good job with the False Face Society. I think that's kind of perfect for the things that he loves, which is people sort of like this like reveal of, oh my god, it was so much bigger than we thought. Like that's perfect for the False Face Society. Like they could basically do the same thing that they did with the Riddler goons, where it was like, oh, there's a ton of these guys and they're ready to destroy the city. Whereas before it was just like, oh, he's a serial killer. Oh no, he's blowing up the city. Like that is such a Black Mask story, and he's also such a dark, gritty character who loves torture and like dismembering people. And yes, of course, he is one of my favorite, probably my favorite, like B-list Batman villain. So of course I want that. But truly, like, I don't know who else you would do, because like the what are they calling it? The crime saga, whatever the hell this version of the Gotham
like
is
that.
called.
Yeah.
They really are focusing on like guys who are basically just like the crime families. And now the Falcones are dead, the Maronis are dead, and traditionally the person who takes over after they're dead is Roman Sionis, is Black Mask. That's how the story goes. So
I think you make a lot of valid points. I also have seen how the universe has treated you for being a Black Mask fan before.
deserve
I think
this.
you're setting yourself up for heartbreak.
I don't actually think it'll happen. I just
No,
if he announces that it is Black Mask, it will be good.
I think it's worse than it won't happen. I think by you putting this out in the universe, like it'll be Arkham Origins all over again, where like they'll say like we're doing Black Mask, and then somebody, CM Punk, will come in and shoot him in the head
I
on
swear
screen.
to God.
And he'll look at and he'll say drug free bitch, and then he'll be wearing a T-shirt that has your face on it. I think that's what's going to happen.
I will fly to
That's
Riyadh to
probably
punch
what's
him in the
going to
balls.
happen. Yeah, he'll still be there.
He lives there now. He loves it there. It's his favorite place. And
What
also,
about-
they may not be able to get a plane out.
Yeah, also possible. Listen, I think you're completely correct. It stays within the crime aspect, the crime family aspect of what we've set up.
Yeah.
Just thinking other grounded type villains like Hush. Can we do a Hush story?
Hush could work. I think that would definitely be interesting, and it would tie back into obviously Robert Pattinson, Bruce Wayne's like childhood, with him being like his childhood's best friend, Tommy Elliott.
Yeah,
so that could be really good. But yeah, I don't really know who else. Like honestly, Hush is another good answer. I think that it's going to be somebody like that, you know, and. I don't know if we have confirmation that Selena Kyle's coming back. I don't necessarily need that. I do think that Zoe Kravitz was good as Selena Kyle, even though she didn't really like do a ton of like acting. It was mostly like a very like physical role.
The Penguin sets up her potentially coming back.
Yes.
I mean, not that it's like it has to happen to pay off a story arc type thing, but
yeah,
there's definitely the window is open.
I would like to see in this universe Huntress. I think that would be really good for this world. And I think it makes a ton of sense of like, you know, she's the person who gets spurned because her entire family gets wiped out, and then like she survives and runs away. Her returning to the city in the middle of all this could be like a cool thing that happens. I don't necessarily see that happening. But I would be down for it.
Smooches a different sexy anti-hero every movie.
Honestly, yeah, if it's like a Bond girl sort of situation. Yeah. I don't know who the third one would be. But I guess Talia al Ghul.
Crossbow. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I think that would be really exciting. Whatever it is, I'll be excited for it. But I'm gonna be really excited to see like what those first little morsels of actual detail about this movie are. Because
Absolutely.
At this point, I don't think it's Clayface.
No. Once again, just like, do you remember how Zaz was in Batman Begins? Technically.
No.
There's a guy with scars on his face, like, and he's in a courtroom scene, and they call him Mr. Zaz, and he's just a bald guy with a goatee, and he doesn't look super duper crazy, but he's like a mob hitman.
Yeah, I feel like I like kind of remember that. I couldn't tell you what he looks like. I couldn't tell you like what actor that was.
I feel like if they do a Clayface with a like the masked killer Clayface, I feel like it would be that kind of level of there he is. He's gone.
Yeah. I mean, I do think if they did do that version of Clayface, that they could make it interesting of like, oh, I don't know, he's like taking molds of the people's faces and then he's pretending to be that he's like making masks out of their, or like something. I don't know. Because I don't really know that version of the character super well, but I think it is something like that. I don't know. Because he is still like a master of disguise. That's Clayface's thing. Is he's, I mean, sometimes he's made out of clay, and other times he just is a really good actor. But he sort of blends in, and he's able to impersonate people really well. And so, I don't know. Honestly, they might make him even. If they did do him, they might make him even grosser and do like whatever that Joker story arc was, where he was cutting off people's faces.
Oh yeah. That was like a new guy for the New 52 though, right? I don't remember who that was.
It was still Joker, but it was.
Well, no, the whoever cut his face off, I mean.
Well, he had, yeah. So Joker requested to have his face cut off. No one did
Oh.
it to him. He was like, I want to take off my mask, and then he was like, and I'm going to take off Batman's mask too, so we can see the real us or something.
Take it off and then staple it back on. Is he an idiot?
Yes, yeah, that was a bad story arc. I didn't care for that one. But hey,
Well, I say balls to everything we just said, and let's do Mad Hatter.
let's do Mad Hatter. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? We're gonna do the Wonderland gang in in Matt Reeves the Batman.
Honestly, I mean, not in Matt Reeves the Batman, but Wonderland Gang. That's all I want. Come on, just do it. Somebody do it.
You just want to see
Somebody-
Mr.
somebody be
Walrus
brave.
eating oysters.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're a freak.
Yes.
Speaking of freaks, we got some casting for the new Spider-Man movie. So Spider-Man Brand New Day. We have 3 confirmed, not new characters, but returning characters for it. MJ and Ned and the Punisher will be returning. The Punisher, I think, is interesting. I'm not
Swerve.
necessarily excited for it, but I'm not like upset about it either. I'm just like, okay. Because I kind of figure that this is going to be I don't see him being a mainstay in this movie. I really think he's going to have like a scene.
I don't know how he could be.
Yeah.
That doesn't make like okay. Spoilers for recent things, I guess. Not really spoilers, but whatever.
Sure.
This guy is so fucking violent.
He's awful. This version of the Punisher is extremely damaging to anyone around him.
Yeah, to the point where like he's like ripping dudes' jaws off or like ripping guys' necks out and blowing dudes up in front of Daredevil, who's like, "Please do not kill this man," and then he kills him real hard.
That was the one like really funny bit where Daredevil was like trying to protect one guy and he's like, "No, don't shoot this guy." And he's like, "What about that guy?" And he just shoots a different guy.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I love Bernthal's Punisher. I think it's so awesome.
I like
great.
Bernthal. I grow tired of his Punisher.
But like here's the thing. How is Spider-Man gonna react to this guy? He's gonna take some minor villain and like rip his head off.
He's gonna
and how does Spider-Man like cope with that? I don't see how this fits.
They're gonna bring back the Shocker and he's gonna shoot him.
Oh my god, we're gonna kill both versions of the Shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, so like on one hand, we kind of see like one of the things we talked about when we were discussing Daredevil Born Again was all these vigilantes in this town, New York, the town, that Wilson Fisk is like going after, and Spider-Man should in theory be one of those. And not to imply that this definitely has to be like a Kingpin Spider-Man movie now, because that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the timeline on this is gonna work out.
I guess to see like some of these vigilantes cross paths, that's interesting. But again, I just tonally I don't really see how we do this.
It's weird. It does imply that this is going to be a darker movie, which is probably fine. To be honest with you, I'm not excited for any of this casting news. Like I like MJ and I appreciate Ned.
I will always say I like
Zendaya.
I don't know if I like her MJ, but I like Zendaya. So
I love Zendaya. I like her MJ. You know what I mean?
I think MJ's a good way to put it.
Fine. You know, I'm not like excited about her necessarily. Her performance or whatever, or even that character, like in the way that she's written, is not the reason I'm not excited to see her. It's just I really wanted this to be like a brand new day, like a fresh start.
Yeah, fresh start.
And so having these friends back imply like by the end of this movie they're going to be friends again. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I don't necessarily want that.
I think that's what everyone was saying. Please don't do this. Like as soon as the last movie came out, but we're doing it. So
Yeah. I was really hoping that this was going to be the opportunity to introduce like an Osborn or a Gwen Stacy or a Black Cat or like, the remainder of sort of, or not even the remainder, but just other parts of the sort of traditional supporting cast of Spider-Man. And this is not to say that they're not going to also do that, but it's a negative point against the possibility of them doing that.
we still have that, that Sadie Sink casting. Do has anybody said Black Cat for that? Did we guess that? Has
It's
anyone said anything?
possible. It's definitely possible. And then she's just like wearing a wig when she's in Black Cat mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of the fan theories and like rumors were that she was going to be like a Jean Grey for some
Oh
reason.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, we guessed she was gonna be that other from the Amazing Friends.
Firestar. Firestorm?
Yeah,
Firestar.
Fire Lady,
I think it's Firestar.
because her hair is red. Is really
Yeah.
the reason.
I mean, there's only so much that we can speculate on. She could be literally anybody. She could be Gwen Stacy. I don't know or care in particular.
He could be Professor Charles Xavier.
That seems like a stretch, but maybe, yeah, possible. Why not? Does it do
Yeah.
anything for your excitement for the movie? Does this positive, negative for you?
Well, one thing that I wanted to say was Punisher being in this. You would think can like we're leaning away from multiverse stuff, right? We're going more ground level.
You would hope so, but
Like
counterpoint.
there's no way that like Spider-Man gets sucked into a wormhole and takes the Punisher with him, right?
Well, okay, if he's a major part of the movie, no. But don't forget, in Spider-Man, this time 3 Spider-Mans, there was Daredevil was there, technically.
Yeah, but they also didn't announce that. That
True,
was
they wanted to keep that
like
a
everyone
secret.
everyone was like, "Oh man, is he going to show up? He Spider-Man needs a lawyer. Is he going to show up?" And then yeah, of course that's who you bring in. But like that was like if this was a fun little cameo in one scene where like, "Oh, there's John Bernthal's Punisher." They wouldn't announce that, right? Like that's totally in Marvel's wheelhouse to like keep that a
Yeah,
secret.
yeah. Well,
So
okay.
the fact that they announce it makes me think that like he's in this.
I know that this is probably a contractual thing, and also maybe it's to the opposite of what most fans of this series would want. I think it's weird that we haven't gotten a Spider-Man movie where it's just Spider-Man. Like why? Like Homecoming, Iron Man is
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Far From Home,
Then
it's Nick Fury, and then
Fury,
it's
yep.
Doctor Strange, and now Punisher. Obviously, Punisher was the smallest tier character of those 4.
Yeah.
But still, it's like this is Spider-Man. Like he can carry a story on his own. It's fine. He's good at it. He's probably the biggest name character that you own. He can do this.
I think the best place they could go with this, and if they did do this, then I guess like yeah, Sadie Sink really could be Black Cat if we lean full vigilante thing, and then I don't know why they announced John Bernthal first, but we bring Daredevil into this, and it's mostly a Daredevil Spider-Man team up movie, and we take on Kingpin finally. I think that would be the best case scenario.
I don't. That would be cool. I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
I think it is entirely. I think it is more likely that Kingpin being mayor is not even mentioned.
That's yeah. Maybe
Because-
maybe like, oh, you know what? It won't be mentioned, but we'll see some of that like Muse street art somewhere.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Well, because this was originally supposed to come out like way later, it got moved up, and so my thought is that like I don't know when that second season of Born Again is supposed to come out, but like
Theoretically, like
obviously,
right before this.
yeah. So like obviously, Daredevil's going to be the one to take out this Kingpin. Like it's his story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I
Well, I definitely wouldn't want to sacrifice Daredevil's story arc so that we get Kingpin in a Spider-Man movie. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I don't necessarily see that happening. I'd be down for it, obviously, but I don't know. It feels like he's spoken for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. My interest level is high. I wouldn't call it excitement. It's with everything Marvel lately, it's just like
Yeah, that's fair.
nervously keeping an eye on it. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like-
bordering on excitement for this because I think the Spider-Man movies have pretty consistently been good. Even Far From Home is like it's the worst one, but even that one is like enjoyable. You know,
Fine. Yeah.
Homecoming I think is great, and then Spider-Man 3
Okay.
Spider-Man is good. I really enjoyed it. I think that one is
that
better
one
than it should have been, considering all
that
the
one
nonsense in it.
I like a lot, but probably some for the wrong reasons.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the fan service movie, but I think that they somehow, despite that, made it work.
Yeah.
So I was good with that one. But I don't know. I am excited for this. I just am like just barely on that line of excitement where I'm like,
Sure.
I need to know. I need to know more information about this. And the information that I have gotten about it is like, if anything, bumping me like slightly further down.
Hmm.
Not like dramatically. I'm not like, oh, I can't believe MJ's in this, but I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
well, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, something I've become more excited for is Fantastic Four first steps, final Fantastic Four steps.
Where are we at excitement? Where are we at out of 10?
Like 8, 7, 5, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not like massively excited for it. I've never been a fan of the Fantastic Four. I haven't cared for any of their movies really. The first of the like, what would you even call those ones? The Chris Evans ones.
Yeah, the 2005
Was enjoyable, but like I
directed
wouldn't
by
say
Tim
good.
Story.
Okay, so the story ones, I guess, is what people call them.
The fantastic story.
Fantastic story. The first one of those I think is enjoyable. The Silver Surfer one, not really. And then obviously
It's
Fanforstic was ass.
it's I guess you could call it for me a guilty pleasure if that wasn't such a dirty phrase.
Sure.
I don't dislike them. I don't defend them. They are what they are. But this one I think looks cool.
That would be my predominant thing, is I think this looks very cool. I really like this final trailer, as they're calling it. I think is finally kind of getting me more on board with it. It felt more hopeful. I feel like all the trailers before was like, this planet is screwed, and this one's like, maybe not. That might get it done.
Mhm.
I still think probably not. I still think this world is probably toast, but maybe. And then I love the visual style of this movie. I think looks phenomenal. I think that's the drawing point for me of this movie, is like, I think visually this is really interesting. I love that sort of like, what would you call it, like 60s 50s aesthetic to it. I think that's really interesting.
The retro futuristic,
yeah.
almost kind of like Jetsons vibe.
I do think that's really cool. I know this is just the trailer, but already I'm looking at the effects and I'm like, not great, not super thrilled. I don't think the fire on Johnny looks great. I don't think the Silver Surfer looks great. And that's not going to ruin the movie.
Stock into that for the trailers.
It's not going to ruin the movie for me if they are like kind of whatever. Something that has me very confused is that at one point in the trailer, the Thing has a beard.
Yeah.
Which, like, what? How that doesn't happen?
It does happen. It's in the comics.
It happens exactly once in the comics, and it's because he has aged 5,000 years.
Now it's happened here.
My further point to it is I think it looks bad. I think it looks stupid.
No, it's cool.
I mean,
I'll fight you on this one.
I think it just genuinely does not look good on his face, and I wonder why they made the choice to do that. And I don't know how you shave as a rock man.
How's he gonna shave it?
Does he just get punched really hard and the beard comes off at one point? That'd be kind of funny.
No, they've set a precedent that he grows a rock beard and he cannot shave it. So each progressive time he shows up in other movies, it's longer and longer, just to piss you off.
It's not that I don't like the idea of him having a beard. It's that it doesn't make sense and I think it looks bad. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense and I think it looks amazing. So we're
yeah, that's fair. There are things. I love the casting of this. From this trailer, the only one of them that I think looks good in motion is Vanessa Kirby. I don't think this, like, the beard, the Thing beard, I don't think looks great.
She always looks good in motion.
Joseph Quinn, and I love all of these actors. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, I think, is gonna be really good in the role. Although I think they're making him like a little bit more jokey than I want him to be, but that's fine. That is sort of what the character is.
He's the goofball of the team.
Yeah, but like they're doing it a lot, and I know this is the trailer, and it's probably a situation where they're just putting all of the jokes in the trailer like they do. But if he's like that the whole time, he's gonna be grating. This is gonna be like a 2.5 hour movie, and 2.5 hours of that is gonna be a lot. And then I just think. This is the real sacrilege. I saved this for last for this reason. I think Pedro Pascal looks old. He doesn't look like he could do a fight.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say have a baby.
Oh man, I mean no. We've seen Robert De Niro get it done at like 90 years old, so that doesn't shock me. But there's the one shot in the trailer where he like stretches up and he lands, and he landed, and I was like, I bet those knees hurt. I bet those knees
No,
feel
the
like
knees are
shit.
rubber. The knees are rubber. It's
Like,
fine.
and he kind of like he lands soft, but then he still goes down to like a superhero pose, and I'm like, yeah, those, yeah, no, your bones ain't doing it like they used to, huh, bud?
His bones are stretchy. He's fine. You're overthinking it.
It just, I don't know. It doesn't look. He don't look like he's supposed to be in a fist fight. You know what I mean? Which is
You know, what
fine.
part of
He's
the
a
trailer
nerd. Ah,
I like, and I believe it was in a previous trailer, so it's not new. But the part where somebody says something along the lines of like, "Are you gonna like? Can you save us? Can you stop it?" And he's
yeah,
like, "I don't know."
yeah.
I like that.
I
And I also like the part where Johnny calls the Silver Surfer sexy because he canonically wants to bang aliens.
I mean, yeah, yeah. If those are the high points of the movie, I do think. Well, one of them sounds like legitimately good, but if one of the high points of the movie coming out of it is, man, I love that Johnny's horny, then I'm gonna think it's probably not a great movie for me.
Come on, man. He's got to stay true to the character.
Yeah, the character is, to my knowledge, not just constantly trying to bang. Like he is a character that does things. Like if his
But he
planet
also
is getting destroyed,
he can do two things.
he
He can
it's
save the planet. He can bang aliens.
I think it is straight. It is fully like what's it's like ludonarrative dissidence. If his planet is about to get eaten and he's worried about
Mr.
getting his
Big Man with his big
and
words.
he's trying to get his rocks off to some silver bimbo from
Hey,
space.
excuse me, pardon me. Ben's trying to get his rocks off, okay? Calm down.
He can't get his rocks off. That's why he's got a beard now, because he cannot
Hmm.
get them off. But it's like, I don't know. It like my planet's getting destroyed. I'm not concerned about where my dick's going tonight. You know what I mean?
That's you. I think a lot of people are concerned about where their peepus is going.
Well, those people shouldn't be heroes.
But he is, because he went to space and now he's on fire. That's not up to you.
I'm just saying, I love Justin Quinn. So far, what I've seen in these trailers has not endeared me to him.
I like this whole cast. I think the trailers have done a good job of showing off three of the four, the fourth being Pedro Pascal. He's not really
Yeah.
doing a whole hell of a lot in the trailer. So I guess we'll see.
Have you heard
Oh,
the theory that he might die?
no.
There is a big theory going right now. It's based on some rumor. I forget who posted it, but one of those like insider types was saying that Pedro Pascal was not going to be moving forward in the series.
Was he not part of the announced cast for the next Avengers movie?
He is, but like that's what I mean is like after that.
Oh, wait. Like he might die in that?
Yeah,
Okay. Because I thought you were saying might die in this.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird multiverse stuff. I guess technically he could die in both, but no, yeah,
He could die in this, and then he could be in that as like little flashbacks. I guess that's not impossible.
fair.
I hadn't heard that, and I think if they do that, it would be interesting. I think it would also be massive confirmation that yeah, we're doing a universe reboot soon.
Yeah, I would think if there is any part of this team, and I know I was just dogging on him, but I think if there's any part of this team that you can kill off and still have the team be fine, it probably is Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Because I feel like all of the
'Cause
other
then you
characters.
put Spider-Man in there.
Well, yes, but I also remember when I was a kid, there was that cartoon that he just wasn't even in anyway. Do you remember that one?
No,
It was the Fantastic Four, but it was Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, and Herbie.
oh, get robot. All right.
Yeah. Um,
I'm tired of robots taking people's jobs.
that's what I'm saying. Should have sent King Shark instead of GI Robot. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for this movie. I do think it's going to be good, and I do think I'm going to enjoy it. I maintain my existing concern of like, I do think this universe is dead. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's lasting the end of the movie. And now there's also these rumors of like one of them might die, and I'm like, well, we have the Fantastic Four. And we're going to make the Fantastic Three immediately. Like, that's all right. Sure, man. Go off, King.
Never expect it. It's the biggest twist. No, they'll no one. We just add another one. It's the Fantastic Five now.
I mean, we already had, like, I know that both She-Hulk and Spider-Man at different times have joined the Fantastic Four, and we have both of them already, so maybe could happen. Who's
I
to
think the
say?
Silver Surfer looks cool. There was a lot of concern when obviously people who are chuds and don't matter.
Right.
They made the Silver Surfer a lady in this one.
Right.
They
Which
were
she
they were
is in the
mad.
comics sometimes. Like, there is a silver
Yeah,
a
well,
lady
I
Silver
believe
Surfer.
this character is like in according to her name or whatever, like canonically the wife of the original Silver Surfer.
Right. Her name's Shia Lube, and
Mhm.
she's
That is the sandworm from Dune. Put some respect on his name.
he can play the piano or something. He's really
He did.
good.
We saw it happen.
I don't know. There is a part of me that's checked out of the Marvel universe. Like, I don't necessarily like care about what's going forward,
Yeah.
but it is like, well, I'm excited for this, and I'm a little bummed that it doesn't look like it really has the potential to exist going forward. In that, like,
Yeah.
their universe is gonna die.
I guess we'll see. I think I say
So
that every time
you
about
do,
Marvel
yeah.
and DC movies.
You're
But what else can you say in
I
2025?
don't know, man. You gotta like take a side. You know, you gotta have feelings and
It
vibes.
is not caring not a side.
No, that's a
I chose my
sigh.
own side. Yeah, I'll take a sigh. No,
You think the effect on the Silver Surfer looks good? I think it looks very flat.
not effect. Again, I'm not putting any stock
Oh,
in
okay.
that until like you see it on the big screen. I just think she looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't care
I,
at all that she's a lady. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. I will
yeah.
say I never liked the Silver Surfer at all. Like, as a concept, I think it's really dumb. Oh, we got this big
Uh,
almighty planet-eating monster, and who is his herald? A naked silver person on a surfboard.
yes.
It's like, you got this giant spaceship, and you're sending out a naked lady on a board.
Hell yeah.
That's your guy that you're sending to be like,
Yes.
Galactus is here.
Yeah.
Pray to your god or gods, and it's just like
Hmm.
the body painted woman.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's just always
And
been lame to me.
if you can't enjoy that, fuck you.
I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I hope that she gets unsilvered and then makes out with Johnny. That's the movie that I want, I guess.
They can't unsilver her because then she'll be naked.
She can put on clothes.
No! Only the Thing can put on clothes. This is the most clothes he's ever worn in a film.
That's actually true. Yeah, that's weird. Now he can get his rocks off.
Ooh,
Oof.
God bless. Well, I
Well,
think that's it. I think that's
yeah.
all we have to talk about this time.
Well, if you want to see the Thing get his rocks off, you can leave a
Amen,
comment
sister.
about all of your Rule 34 fantasies on Spotify or YouTube. Those are the places that we are, and we would love to see your comments and hear your feedback, frankly.
So, if someone has listened to this and knows how the Thing shaves, please leave that comment. Please tell us. I
Yeah.
personally want to know.
Send
how
me
he
a
shaves.
link to
And
how
I
the Thing shaves.
refuse to read a comic book to find out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, you can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD or me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this far into the show. And until next time, we'll see you around.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories and